Go to Florida. Florida is worse than Georgia, man. Them crackers in Florida. He go over there with his big, black, buff self.
He's gonna lose
weight. One of these see him in the police car. Do you know how many Negroes they pulling over in Florida in brand new cars? All he have to do is get stopped once.
Getting stopped is not a problem.
Getting stopped is coming in contact with the police. He cannot have contact with the police.
He just have to tell him he got a ticket.
Okay.
You can get a ticket on probation.
In Texas, I seen people in Huntsville with tickets doing 10 years.
Yeah, we on Boss Talk 101. Yeah, we gonna talk.
Did fresh hot off the press, man. That YSL interview that you did when you was out in LA when I called you, when you was in Compton, I'm sorry. But when you was in off Rosecrans, when I talked to you, you said that he pretty much signed the worst deal of his life. Do you still feel that way?
The worst deal. When the white man said it's the worst deal, his own attorney said that was terrible. I don't know what he was thinking. He should have took the 15 years.
So you don't think that he can make more things happen on the ground? I asked you that on the show, on the little review we did. I felt like he took that with action on the ground. And there's also, I heard him say that, not him, but the judge say that that he can appeal this.
He has 30 days to
30 days to appeal it. He can appeal it.
Ain't no sense in appealing it if you didn't took it. So I mean, he was just, man, we look so shallow. He don't look at the long range game. Like his attorney said, he just wanted to get out. So if you sacrifice yourself just to get out, and he could have waited 3 months, his attorney believed that they could beat the case and he could go home scot-free in 3 months.
But OG wasn't willing to take that chance.
Right. Hey.
It's a different world when you're sitting in there and you got to be judged by 12
years for 3 more months. I'd take that chance.
You'd have took the chance.
Man, I'd take it all.
Do me a favor.
Taking a chance for doing. You got 15 years on probation. You got to do 7.5 years on restricted probation. And then you got to do, if you can make it 7.5 years, a young man like him active in the rap industry, he's a target for every racist police, begrudging woman. All the woman got to do now is call and say he did something to her. He going to prison for 40 years.
That's the reason I wanted you to come down here, because I wanted to understand what make you think that he can't do, if he moves, let me finish, over to say Florida, because he can't be in Atlanta. He moves over to Fort Lauderdale, somewhere that's secluded. He stays to himself. He can deal with Gunna and his brother. She said that he can do tours. He can go out and do things and come right back to his central location. He don't have to be in the limelight dealing with all of the other stuff he used to deal with. At this point, he sat there for 2 years and no TV, no exposure, sitting there, coming to that court every day. You don't think he could have had epitome and just basically changed and say, I'm not dealing with that no more?
Is that your argument?
Yeah.
Is that all you got to talk about?
Yeah.
That is such an ironic statement to even make. To go to Florida. Florida is worse than Georgia, man. Them crackers in Florida. He go over there with his big, black, buff self.
He's going to lose
weight. One of these crackers see him in the police car. Do you know how many Negroes they pulling over in Florida in brand new cars? All he have to do is get stopped once.
Getting stopped is not a problem.
Getting stopped is coming in contact with the police. He cannot have contact with the police.
He just have to tell him he got a ticket.
Okay.
You can get a ticket on probation.
In Texas, I seen people in Huntsville with tickets doing 10 years.
You can't get a ticket when you on probation?
Get one and see. Get on probation.
I never been on probation. They didn't allot me that favor.
Well,
was you on probation before?
I do parole. All right, and I don't do parole. I runs. I abscond.
So this probation thing, I've heard stories that it is the worst predicament that you can be in when you're trying
Somebody's over your life. You don't if you're blessed to have a cool probation officer. But you got these, first of all, you got a probation officer making $40,000, $50,000 a year, and you $1 million Negro. You know he mad about that. He coming up and seeing you with this little jewelry on, and then he have to do concerts 4 times a year for free. These crackers is crazy, man.
So yeah, because he's going to be flying out. He got to let his probation know his whole itinerary, where he's going. And basically he can give him his itinerary because they're planning and scheduling a year ahead or quarterly. So once he give that to him, are you saying that probation officer at that point becomes like basically jealous of the fact that he's traveling the world?
Allegedly. I haven't seen a cool probation officer in years. So I'm saying that brother put too much at risk for himself and his family for 7 years. For 7 years in the street as a young black man. And his problem was he had all of these phone calls. You think phone calls is not going to stop? So now he can't call nobody. He can't talk to nobody in the hood. So now he done been alienated. Now he done been put in a box. So how's he gonna survive this?
No. He still can go do his music and stuff. He can have a studio in the house. Music is going to come out frequently from him, more than you ever heard before.
No,
and he's going to have a lot of time to do music now, man. Talking about different things.
He had 2.5 years to do music. Do you think white America is gonna let him put out what he did in jail?
Yeah, but he can't do music like. He got to change up his strategy a little bit, but he can make it sound good. All that hollering and whining he's going to make it sound good. He can talk about anything. He's an artist.
You believe in the good tooth fairy, huh?
No, I believe he'll be all right.
And you think
far as the music go, I think he'll be all right. Him and Gunna going to make good music.
Okay.
You don't think him and Gunna make good music?
I don't know nothing about his music. I rob banks, man. I don't care nothing about rap. So I'm just telling you, I'm talking legally. I'm not talking about production.
I'm just saying he's going to make music. He's going to continue to thrive in what he's been doing in the music industry.
I hope so.
But it's going to isolate him to not be able to go out anymore.
But I'm saying this is the only reason white America let him. He's still profitable to them, to the industry, or they would have dropped him. Somebody feels that he's valuable. But today, in the age that we're dealing in, with the corruption going on socially, if he puts himself or anybody around him put himself in a predicament, he is through. Just one time. You slip, you fall. 40 years, you think I would take that kind of chance?
I think you're right. I'm not going to sit here and disagree with you when I know it's going to be a slippery slope to climb. I know it's going to be tough. I know he's going to be walking on eggshells. I get that. But I also know that the way that people going to look at him, because for one, he didn't talk. He stood up. He didn't talk. He didn't talk. That's the thing that I think sets him apart, is that he didn't speak on what happened in a situation like all the others did. As a leader, I think that makes him more, basically, they're going to look at him they're going to respect him because of the way he stood. I don't think nobody, all these other rappers, all these other people, I can't even remember nobody that didn't really just, Suge, I don't think Suge spoke either. It's certain people that
nobody Suge can speak on, but nobody but himself.
You know. So that's the same thing Young Thug did.
Yeah, I mean, he accepted responsibility because he took a no contendory plea to the racketeering and leader of a gang. No contendory is still a guilty plea in the court. He took a no contendory.
Is that like no contest?
No contest.
Okay.
The proper word is no contendory.
Okay.
That's the legal term.
Okay.
No contest for Negroes. No contest. So the no contest plea makes it where the family of the girl Chanel, I don't know Chanel's last name, that Stillwell and the other boy are being accused of killing. That the prosecution wanted her mother to come to Young Thug's sentencing to speak against it, right? Since he took the no contendory plea, took the no contents, the judge said it rules it out. It doesn't change the fact. But in the court of law, he's still held accountable criminally because he was head of the gang and he was part of the RICO, right? So it says, so he's still technically involved in a conspiracy to commit murder through phone conversation. So that's what he took. You feel what I'm saying? But on the other hand, he could have took the 15 years and they put in the same evidence that they were going to put in anyway. When you heard the prosecution read off the phone conversations that he was having with Stillwell them and asking for money, this was all part of, and I can't understand how Steele them didn't say that they allowed it to say to be that they stipulated. In stipulating, you don't have to read the charges off. We'll agree to that was being said. I would have thought he would have objected and have that stipulated into record instead of her saying it in open court. Because now when she says it in open court, she can go back to the Stillwell trial and bring that up as evidence. You feel what I'm saying? So they should have stipulated, shut up, we ain't saying none of that. We're gonna take this deal, but we're stipulating that everything that you said is factual from what you heard. And then it was still made it in their trial hearsay.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, we on Boss Talk 101. Yeah, we gonna talk.